and he stood in there real nice for it. And that's where you've just got to read the horse and connect with that horse. It's your job to connect with them. If you start trying to connect with them, you'll build that connection. It's not on the horse. The horse is a horse. They have how their mind's wired. We have to rewire it. We have to get them to understand. We have to put forth a whole lot more effort to make that connection than the horse needs to do. The horse, he just wants to feel safe. When he feels safe, he'll have that connection with you. Simple. You have to build his feeling of safety. That's on you. That's not on him. That's on you. So we're going to come up in here, and what we're going to do is, excuse me. You know, one of my big concerns with him right now is we got to get his feet done. So he's starting to calm down a lot. He's really thinking. He's relaxing more. So we're going to start on his feet. So I'm going to come in, make contact at his head, down to his shoulder. And then just stop because he moved his foot. And I'm going to just run my hand down his leg on the outside. He's standing in here good. He didn't move at all, so I'm going to come in around on the inside. If he had moved, we'd have worked on that just a little bit more and I wouldn't have come to the inside. I'm going to reach around to the front now and do that. And now I'm just going to back out away. So he's doing good with that. So we're going to come back in and ask him to pick his foot up. But before I ask him to pick the foot up, I want to be in here rubbing on his leg first. So he understands there's a difference in me running my hand down here and touching him and when I'm asking him to pick up his feet. So I'm just going to give him a little cluck, or a little tap by the chestnut, a little cluck. I'm asking him to take the weight off the foot. I'm going to build that pressure up. I'm just going to stay at it till he moves. So he's not really moving, so I'm going to add my shoulder in here to push on him just a little bit. Help him find that answer. There. Now, he moved off a little bit, but what I wanted him to do was take his weight off his foot. He's not going to just pick it straight up for you, unless he's really spooky about it and he's just snatching it to get it away from the pressure. So the whole goal in that first attempt was to get him to take his weight off his foot, not pick it up so you can grab it. Even though he's had his front feet picked up before, he's always had issues with it and his hind feet are even worse. We're going back and showing him a cue. When I tap here, I want you to pick your foot up. So I'm going to come back in. Me reaching down is not the cue to move your foot. So I want to reach down and rub him again so he can understand there's a difference between me rubbing him and then asking him to do something else. So I'm going to tap a few times. I'm going to start clucking. Tap a little harder. Add a little bit of weight in up there. I just pushed into his shoulder just a little bit till he moved. And that time, if you notice, he didn't move near as much. Come back in, run my hand down. My hand is not the cue, because one day we may want to put boots or wraps on him. We don't want him bringing his foot up thinking that's what we want. So now I'm going to add my cue of tapping, add a cluck, a little bit of pressure on his shoulder to help him understand. He's almost got it lifted up. And there's his pressure, there's his release. We're going to come back in, run my hand down, tap, clock, a little bit of pressure against him there. He lifted it and moved it. That's all I'm asking for. Atta boy. Run my hand down, tap. Oh, that time he moved it and I didn't even have to clock. So I'm going to get out of there. He found that answer. He found that answer. That's what I wanted him to do. Just because I'm walking towards you, don't back up. So I'm going to ask him to move back over here. He didn't want to go forward, so I started moving him to the side a little bit. Keep it just a hair of pressure and then release when he shifts his weight. So see, now he's going to start thinking that he needed to back up there. So I love that right now he's got all that weight on his left leg. So now he's really going to have to shift his weight to get that foot to move. So I'll give him a little tap, clock, a little help by a little bit of a shift. There. He moved, but now I want to ask a little bit more. I want him to bring that foot up a little bit. He's got his weight off it, but I want him to bring it back a little bit there. So I'm going to come right back in on it. A little bit of pressure. I want you to keep it up, keep your weight off it. Oh, he started to. So I'm just going to lift just a little bit and then put it down. So I'm giving him just a little bit of help with trying to figure it out. But I'm making him work at it. Making him, showing him what the answer is, but he's the one that's got to figure it out. He went to back up. So I just stopped and added a little bit of pressure. Said, hey, stand in here for me, buddy. There we go. We'll run that hand down a little bit. Rub him a little bit on that leg. Come back in. I'm going to build up just a little bit more pressure here. Tapping that chestnut. Run my fingers into it a little bit. Make it a little bit uncomfortable. Not hurting them or anything. There. Now he brought it up, so I caught it. And then I'm just going to set it back down. Give him a rub. I'm recording. Our video card's getting full again. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break right here. Go get that video off of the camera and come back in. All right, we're back after downloading our video that was full in the storage. Unfortunately, we got a new camera. You probably noticed the audio is a whole lot better. Turned out that audio problem we were having in some of our videos was the actual camera. So we replaced the camera, but now for some reason the video storage is getting full very quick. So we got to figure that out now, but it's always something. All right, so I'm coming back on down here. We're going to rub down this leg, pick up where we left off. Little tap, little cluck. He gave it to me very nicely. I'll hold it here, run my hand around it a little bit, and drop this rope, put my other hand on. I'd do this a few more times with an untouched Mustang that I was teaching this to before I'd put both hands on there, but he's been there. He's had his front feet trimmed. Matter of fact, I did them once, and it was a nightmare to do. But he was having a lot of issues. And I was going over there once a week to work, and he wasn't getting it. Oh, put it back down on me, so I'm going to keep in here. There we go. Thank you, T-Roy. All right. So he's doing real good with that. I'm going to back out a little bit, and we're going to go to his other front side. After he calms down a little bit here, let's see if he'll follow me around. Oh, that was nice. We're going to have some other videos on how to teach them to disengage that hip and move around with you. I'd done that with him quite a bit before he came here, when I was working with him before, and he retained that really good, keeping his focus on me. So a little nervous here, but that's okay. We're going to just run down just like we did on the other side. And with him, this side, I'm just going to go back and forth on him all the way down. He's standing there good. I'm going to back out before I ask him to do anything. Make sure he was good with that. And like I said, if he was moving around and stuff, I'd spend more time on it, but he's pretty good with that, so I'm going to go ahead and move along. If this is the first time I did this on a Mustang or something, that would have been just pure bum luck, and that horse was afraid to move and was locked up, which is why he didn't move, and I'd keep doing that a lot more too, because they don't stand like that the first time you run your hand down a ungentled Mustang. So we can give him a little tap. Oh, he almost got it, so I'm going to ask him to do it again. Oh, he put the foot down on it. Oh, there he got a little nervous. I'm going to come back in. I'm not going to reward that pressure, but if he lifts the foot up, I'm not going to try to catch it this time. There. I'm just going to let him release. So I pushed it a little bit too hard. He wasn't quite ready for it, but you don't know until you test him a little bit, see where he's at. So we'll just come in here and slow down just a little bit, back off just a little bit. But I was comfortable doing that because he was good on his other side. He's had his front feet picked up before. He's actually had his back feet picked up. He's been trimmed before. So I wanted to see what we had. Put him under a little pressure and ask him for a little bit more and see what happened. Yeah, I found out what happened. He wasn't quite ready for it, so we're going to build that confidence back up. Just ask him to lift that foot. There. Oh, that time he just decided to give it to me and stand there. He lifted it up so well and so high, it's like, okay, let's ask him for it again. He was good with it this time. And that's just, you got to read and go with the flow and adjust, make adjustments as you go, and if the adjustment was wrong, back up a little bit and try it again. So he's done real good here. We're going to come back in. He moved a little bit, but that's okay. There we go. I'm going to drop that rope, rub his foot a little bit, move it around, and set it down. If you notice, I don't just let go of his hoof and let it fall. I set it back down. I want him to let me have control of his foot. I want to just set it down. That way he doesn't get anxious, and he never learns that if I let go, he can just stomp his foot down. All right.